Hey, what's good, barbecue family? It's your boy Joe Mill here, back with Killer Billy Q, and today I got my heart of charcoal on deck, burning hot. Beautiful 3 pound cowboy ribeye ready to go. We're gonna be attempting the Peter Luger style on this steak. Check it out. This will be interesting. And we're gonna cut the music, and this is how we're gonna begin with this beautifully striated. Supposedly, this is just a choice tomahawk steak here. They say it's a cowboy ribeye, so maybe not completely the tomahawk, but that's pretty long bone. Usually, a cowboy's a little bit shorter, but one way or another, we got us a nice fat daddy right here. This is easily could have been a prime. Lots of marbling within that meat like that. It's at 3.11 pounds, so cool story. Literally was at a nice steakhouse and saw a 40-ounce tomahawk that they had for $174. So at $52, this is roughly about 50 ounces. We're going to make this into a star, save a whole lot of money today. First things first, we're going overnight, good old-fashioned kosher salt. Got my wire rack over here with my tray. We're just going to get this out of here, get it, make sure it's patted dry, get a little bit of salt on both sides. I won't worry too much about the edges, and we're going to get us a dry salt brine. There we go. Both sides look pretty much like you see. Gave it a nice little pat down. Nothing else has been done. We're going straight in the refrigerator. It's going to sit like this. When I see this tomorrow, we should be nice and dark and red. Obviously, all of that salt is going to be soaked all the way in. And as you can see, this is a nice and thick steak. So we're going to get that flavor inside. And then that way we should be ready for the cooking process. Night night, baby. Top of the morning to you. It is championship weekend, and as you can see, our salt brine has taken hold. All of that salt has pretty much been absorbed. You can see just a tad bit over here on these edges, but overall, a couple driblets. You see that nice, beautiful, dark red color that came out in this meat. Basically, now we done pulled all that moisture back in. We should have salt all the way down to the bone. We're going to keep this seasoning really simple today. And literally, the only thing I'm going to be doing is adding in a little bit of avocado spray. Always enjoy getting this one here. This is an organic version. And when it comes down to it, there we go, ingredients-wise. There's nothing in here but avocado oil. So easy way to get some avocado on stuff. I don't have to over use it, so a lot of times spraying is a little easier. Light little bit of spray, I'll rub it in, and only thing other than that, I'm gonna come over the top with some fresh cracked black pepper. And as you can see, I'll be putting together a quick little cheater compound butter, which is basically, I've been looking at this seasoning forever over at Costco, the Kinder's Cowboy Butter seasoning. And, I actually made some cowboy butter, and tasting this seasoning, it is dead on. I mean, it's got a little bit of that lemon splash in there, that little bit of heat. We're going to mix a little bit of that with that butter later on. And that'll be the only thing that comes over the top when it's rest. But right now, we're just going to start it off cooking with nothing but salt and pepper. So let's get a little bit of oil on. I'm going to go ahead and get some of this cracked black pepper all the way around. And I'm going to let this thing hang out. We got 3 pounds of meat. So I'm easily about to give this a good half an hour before it's going to actually hit the heat. There we go. Oil's on. I make sure I even hit that bone a little bit. Get it moistured all over. And then obviously with this black pepper, you can use as little or as much as you like. I happen to enjoy my pepper, so I will be hitting it with a decent amount. By the time this thing actually goes on the actual smoker, we probably won't even barely see half of this. Pat that in, and we're gonna go to the other side. And there's the fresh side. We're gonna do the exact same thing. Pardon my reach. Let me get a little view. I love this little automated cracker when it comes to the salt and the pepper. It's just nice. A little fancy. All right, that should handle us. I've learned that I don't season my sides, even though that's super thick, but that helps me from over seasoning. I just want to kind of give it a little something on the top for the crust. The butter and the seasoning is going to help the middle. I should believe we should be good. So I'm going to let this thing hang out. Like I said, I'll give it one more pat, but it's going to sit just like you see it. We'll bring you back in a half hour. We'll go ahead and get this fire together. Back outside, and it is go time, ladies and gentlemen. This has been sitting out at least 30 to 45 minutes. I got a screaming hot fire over here on my old Weber kettle of nothing but that fine, harder charcoal. We're going to start out right there in the center. I'm going to get me a good sear on all sides before we slide this thing over and cook in direct. Let me grab the meat. Okay. I'm going to close this up and give it about a minute. All right, roughly about a minute. Whoosh. After. Yeah. All right. One side in. Close it back up. All right. Whoosh. Just about a minute later. Not too worried. Let's go ahead and clean this grate. All right, grate's all cleaned up. Notice I'm now sitting it the other way. We're going to try to work on getting some better grill lines. I'm usually horrible at that. I'm going to close it up, give it another minute. And team, I want to jump in here real quick and let you know I appreciate you checking out this video. Go to that bottom right corner, take a minute to subscribe if you haven't done it already. Like this video, throw me a comment in, check out some of the other videos you've missed, and stay tuned. Woo! Another flip. Oh yeah. That's what I'm talking about. That's how it's supposed to start to look. Rolling right along. Boosh. All right, get back to it. Oh, yeah. Let me see. Am I about where I want to be? Okay, let me get some on this side. It'll never sit up, so I'm just going to actually stand it right here. We're going to look at this thing one time. Let it ride. Man, I love a good plan coming together. We're going to sear up all of these ends. I'm going to stand it on his head here in a second. Give it a little bit. And then basically from there, today, we're going to be trying a Peter Luger style steak, which I'm going to go into more detail. Let's get him up. Woo! In just a second. Go ahead and drip down there and get him one time. Notice I got my little glove on, helping out big time. Ooh, it's hot. Alright, last flip. Got that last spot on the other side. And I just want a little bit of that. And I'm going to show you exactly where we're going to be putting it at next. I'm going to move my heat, and then we'll be ready to ride. That should be about good. Okay, back over here. I'm actually going to be using my little, I don't know, it's like a flat pan griddle. This side here is flat. The other side actually has the lines on there where you can get grill lines. You can put this on any cooking surface. You can actually put this directly over a campfire. You can put this directly on your stove at the house. So I like this. Don't use it a whole lot, but we're going to change that. Anyway, I'm going to be using this as like our cast iron skillet. And this is where we're going to cook the rest of the time in. I'm going to let this hang out right now. Right on here until I move it back over there to the fire. This thing's gonna catch all of our juices. You notice we got a little lip on there, and then like I stated before, this butter is pretty soft now, so we're gonna be making our little cowboy butter here in just a second. So the next thing we're gonna do is slide on over here to this fire. And basically what I'm going to do is we're going to be having this thing set up more indirect. I probably don't need all of these coals, but I'm going to be sliding them off to one side. That way I have my cooking side on the other one to get going. Give me one sec. Okay, I got my fire adjusted. Got rid of one of my little cooking corners, and basically I added it over there to my other Weber grill. So I'll still have some of those charcoals later on when I go to bring back some of the fires. But that can sit over there to the side. I got plenty of room now to cook indirect, really soak in some of that smoke off of some of that harder charcoal. I'm gonna hurry up and get this thing closed down, but let me bring that steak over. So here we go. We are massively trying to choke this thing down a little bit. Obviously, you know, we had a screaming hot over 500-degree fire. There is that steak on that nice little griddle pan. I'm gonna let it hang out here. I did decide I wanted to just get an idea where I'm at temp-wise. It's actually a little higher than I thought. Nope, there we go. I expected it to be around 65-ish. Like I said, this is 3 pounds of meat, so this is a big baby. Like I said, I'm gonna choke this down because I want to get some smoke in here now, so I'm not gonna rush this at all. I'm gonna let this hang out here at least the next 45 minutes or so before I come back in here and check on it. Obviously, this fire will bring down a little bit. We're gonna go ahead and slide over here to make this butter, and then we'll come back and then we'll finish this thing up when it's time. So diving into this butter, obviously we've had this sitting out here, so it's nice and pretty soft, definitely malleable, not completely squishy, but it's ready to go. I'm gonna be adding in some of this cowboy butter seasoning from Kinder's, and after actually making this myself in one of the videos that I make sure I pin on here, this is a very flavorful thing to add on to steak. I love that it's got that freshness with that lemon flavor and everything on there. You can be as liberal, I have to probably open this baby up the other side, as you want with adding it in. But this is just going to be our little flavor bomb that we're going to add on there. The butter I actually used ended up being salted. I would have preferred to go with the unsalted butter, but that's what I already had, so I'm not too worried about it. But you don't want to necessarily get it too salty, being that I already salt brine that steak. I've already tasted this out of the bottle. It's not a super salty rub, so I think overall we'll be together. Let me mix this together. I'll give you a shot of what it looks like once it's done. And we'll look something like this. I added just a tad bit more so I could cover up some of my light spots. Obviously, I had a whole stick of butter, so a decent amount. And this is a flavor bomb for us, right? Cowboy butter with butter and butter. All I'm going to do is, and I purposely left this kind of more in a lump, I'm going to get this into a nice solid, more or less ball and get as much as I can off the sides and off my fork. And let me grab me a piece of Ziploc, or saran wrap. Okay, got my nice little ball in this little bit of saran wrap. Basically, all I'm gonna do is wrap this up, kind of like that, and I'm gonna fold this under, and I'm gonna almost make me a tube so I can just roll it over. And obviously it's just a ball, but what we're gonna do now that we got it together is I'm gonna kind of roll it back and forth. And obviously I'm doing this one-handed, but you're gonna get the idea here, and then I'm gonna clean it up until I can make almost like a little sausage roll. I'm going to put those ends, actually working out with one hand. I'm going to put those ends together, kind of like a Tootsie Roll or a piece of candy. Now this is going back in the refrigerator. And then we're going to harden up, and then we're going, there we go. See what I mean? And it's going to harden up, and then when I come back, I can cut me a nice little patch of some of this compound butter. Let me twist up the ends. There we go. And this is some cheap plastic wrap, so it didn't even say that singed, but I just kind of gave it the little whoop, 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 you know, flipped it around, got it more or less packaged up and tightened up like I want it to look as far as shape-wise in the refrigerator, just like that. Oh, and don't think we're going to get rid of this bowl as you see it. Hold on to this. In just a minute, I'm going to throw it in the microwave. We'll get that butter up out of there. When I do go check on that steak, we'll drop it right on top. 30 minutes in, and I know it ain't done. I just want to see what it's doing. Okay, we hanging out here around that 15-ish mark. Let me see if I can get some light over here for you. Bam, look at that color. Hello. You can see how it puffed up a little bit. It's a little more spread out, right? I mean, that baby is cooking right along. You see some juices that came out of here. I'm gonna at least give it a 180 rotation, but I want to see where I'm at temperature wise so I can get an idea when I want to start getting into it. Oh, look like we about ready. Let's chop him up. Claude, have mercy. I done slid this over here onto my griddle, so I got me a nice cool surface for us to calm down on. Obviously it's still warm. Actually, when I checked a couple other spots, my temperature gauge, but I think I need to get me a new ThermoPro. But it was a little lower than what I had it at, which is actually still cool with me because I do usually like mine with my girls being more medium well to almost wellish. From here, I'm about to let it hang out. I'm about to go warm up that last little bit of cowboy butter that was left in that dish, and we're just going to give that a little bit of a basting. And it wasn't too much, but nothing goes to waste here in the Miller household when you can be giving me some of that love right there. I'm just going to give it a little bit now. You know, we got the full pats that we're about to go give me a couple cuts in a minute. And we'll throw some of that on here too. Just grab this out the fridge. Nice and hard. Let me get it out of here. There we go. And now we can get us a couple nice pieces. Here we go, man. This color on this thing looks amazing. We'll put those couple patches right there on here. And I'm going to go sit this in the microwave and let it hang out for a little bit. Alright, I've waited as long as I can. Oh, look at that right there. Let's pull this out. And here it is, man. I tell you, the steak smell classic. The butter is there. Let's cut this thing first off, for those that don't know. Right off the bone, nice and tight. Now that we got that bone off, we're going to take off this tail. And then this is the product. But I tell you, there's a little bit of fat on this tail, but there's always a little bit of meat. Look how juicy. Still got a, I don't know, medium wellish is about where we at, which is usually where I like it. Flavorful. Okay, now let's cut this up as one big lump. And of course I went ahead and melted me a little bit of extra of this butter. Flip this thing around. We all sliced up. Got that cowboy butter mixed up. Give me a fork and kind of make sure you get them seasonings kind of mixed in there with that. And we're just going to kind of open this thing up a little bit and pour it in. Fan these open a little bit.
Our best deals are still here. Come into Verizon and get 4 iPhone 17s on us. No trade-in needed. And 4 lines for just $25 a line.
Oh. All right, I have sat, I have waited. Now we're gonna get one of these nice juicy pieces. Obviously, for those that like it a little more medium or rare, you do that. We're gonna enjoy ours just like this. Super tender. So juicy. Now overall, this was a definite success. That steak was slamming, super juicy. Salt content was perfect with that salt brine. I will make sure I get unsalted butter next time when I make my compound butter, but overall, my flavor was on point. I'm calling it a fail though for a couple reasons. One, I want to make sure I get a chance to do this again. And then two, at the end of the day, the Peter Luger style is supposed to not be fully cooked after I get that sear on. I was assuming I might have more time to get a little bit more smoke in there, but by the time I was able to actually come back and check it out, it was pretty much done. So in a perfect world, I would have cut it up early, I would have got that butter on there and then let it sit there in the actual grill to actually finish cooking and let that butter just kind of saturate itself all on the inside with that flavor. So I got a reason to do this all over again, but overall, I ain't mad at that at all. Shouts out to my family, you over there, for checking me out on this video, and all my boys at Black Smoke Barbecue. I appreciate y'all, along with the peoples over there at Heart of Charcoal. I'll catch y'all next week. Peace.